To do what?
To use my mouse.
Oh, right.
Because I'm always
right.
thinking
it's a
it's-
touch screen. Yeah.
Ah,
That's so funny.
Is it safe to have a mouse so close to the mouth?
That's not a good thing, is it?
All right. 6 o'clock. Calling the meeting to order. We are being recorded, just as a reminder. Thank you. First thing, we always have a citizen comments. Doesn't look like there are any citizens here, so we'll move on. You have your approval for the meeting minutes from the September 20th. So if you want to look through that and take appropriate action.
I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Okay?
I second that.
All those, or, how'd you say all those in favor? Aye. Okay. Did you tell me about the voting thing for me? She'll mention the voting for me. So I don't know if y'all know, but my vote doesn't count unless I'm a tiebreaker. I don't
I
if
didn't know
you
that.
Knew that. I didn't know that, so.
Interesting. Speaker of the House.
Speaker of the House, that's right. Okay, provide update on committee status, so I think there's
No new
no
updates.
new updates.
Nope.
So we'll just keep that on there, but just keep thinking about it. Okay, provide update and discuss timeline and logistics for artist exchange.
Let's go.
We're ready.
Yay!
The date we are circling is February 28th, Wednesday. It would be the following Wednesday from our February meeting, which would give us now one last meeting at Talk Shop. The more we've talked through this, a good way to kind of frame this, kind of this new spin we're taking, is almost a job fair in a way, kind of think of it that way, that and we're still going back and forth on, and so that abstract from last time, we talked about finding a few businesses to kind of represent for them to meet artists or to meet what those needs may be. And so we're still talking about, okay, is this, I said thinking of earlier, reverse Shark Tank, where the business is kind of talking or presenting, or is it even more job fair type thing where there's more like stations around where, so, which I kind of prefer and think may work better, so to really keep that like, you can be networking with fellow artists and you can stop by this place's booth, introduce yourself, give your card, what have you. We talked about hopefully reaching out to Village Farmers Branch Chamber of Commerce as well as Enterprise Chamber of like, hey, anybody, and like we would need to like cap this at, I think if we had 3, that'd be great. We could probably push to like 8 maybe. Firehouse would be one right there. To talk about what our needs are artistically and such.
So
That's where we are.
we would basically send out invites to all of those, and we talked about also extending it to businesses within the arts district.
Yeah.
Because they might be more likely to add a mural or something like that. And then the businesses would specifically register their RSVP, their attendance, so we could kind of control the number of people there for that, whereas it would be very open for artists. We wouldn't necessarily control the number of artists that attended.
And I think that's a bit of a, when I was looking at the minutes, I think that is a bit of a switch slightly from how this was presented previously. The pre-registering who we kind of need to control isn't necessarily the artists. It's kind of more sort of business. Yeah.
Well, what we were specifically saying is we were trying to create a pathway for local artists to be considered for projects by the city, by businesses, residents, and each other. And So that's what we thought the value of this particular, and this program can change year to year. But we're thinking this particular year, that might be a good focus, because taking the feedback from the previous year's interchange, that seemed to be where the need was. Where can I work? How can I connect with other people in the community that I might find opportunities for work? So in response to what we felt like the biggest request was, we're filling that need for the ask. And I think the nice thing is it's not demanding any city resources to put this event on.
Where did you say you were gonna?
Firehouse.
Oh, firehouse, okay, I just,
Because that won't require any city employees or additional hours or anything like that. Any resources from the city. Basically, our little committee would put it on ourselves.
okay,
And you said February 28th?
28th.
6 to 8 or something, or?
No, we were thinking 7-ish, so people could eat, but we will have
Yeah.
we'll have some snacks of some kind, and we're gonna take care of getting that donated or whatever. So no city resources necessary for that.
And I would just move up that February 20th date is kind of the soonest it could be. Could we, I think, what I had said, previous meeting was
First quarter or second.
near the end of first, beginning of second. That's actually kind of smack in the middle of first quarter. But, so if conflicts arise or anybody thinks that's a bad time and there is some flexibility with that, that's kind of what we wanted to have a date that we knew could work.
I think it's a great date,
Yeah.
before spring break happens, it's
Yeah.
still in February,
Mhm.
yeah, we haven't had a meeting before,
Yeah.
because we won't meet in December, we'll have
Mhm.
January, February.
So that's our proposal.
Is that a Wednesday?
Yes.
It is a Wednesday.
Awesome, love it.
And there's 29 days in February next year.
Just for fun.
Okay, any questions, comments? I'm excited, I think you guys did a nice job.
And we did include in the packet what Owen and Amy had sent. I did include it so that everyone else can read it too, the proposal. Yeah.
And that's mostly still the direction. There's
Mhm.
a few alternatives, some shifts, but it starts like.
And you'll send out invites to the artists, like digitally, whatever.
Yes, so
But you're not
we're-
gonna ask for RSVPs from them? Or,
No, I really don't think so, because I don't think we're gonna be hugely overwhelmed, and we are gonna make it a come and go type event,
okay,
which I think will help with traffic flow a lot, but then that's part of why we want RSVP from the businesses, because we wanna make sure they're represented there. That probably won't be the come and go portion, the businesses will expect to be there the whole time, and then artists can come and go.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to the invitation part when we roll around to our committee report, because we have some
Yeah, there's. yes.
questions and things.
Cool, awesome. Discuss meeting dates and locations for 2024 and take appropriate action. So we discussed them, we just, I think, need to vote on them, is that correct?
That's correct. The library was the last one to get back to me, so all the dates are confirmed. We can go over them again, and then, yep, you can take appropriate action and vote on them.
So, do y'all feel, I hate to throw a wrench in it, but I was just gonna say, Bonnie works at the historical park, and we've been here, like, could we just do the last 3 at the historical park? I mean, is it difficult for us to be there, or would we have to check with rooms for that?
Well, we would just have to check, because at that point, the Wednesday night, I don't think it would be an issue. It would be if there was a rental already on the books, but if not, we could approve, we could,
I would just hate to extend this longer, but I was just thinking for your sake, to not have to schlep over here. But
yeah. Either way, whatever, it's your committee, so I'm game for any of it. But the historical park, yeah, it's more intimate, it's nice.
Yeah.
The Dotson House is quite nice. So it's whatever you all want to do.
I'm very happy with that.
Okay.
I'm
Y'all feel
I'm
okay
much
about
more
that?
concerned about the dates than the location, so.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay.
And I was just, I mean, I don't know if we have to push it off again, or can we just vote on it and then hope
I think
that
let's vote on it because,
hope that it'll work?
yeah, because Kim, the coordinator of the park, she'll be able to tell me, Dawn is so good about getting me the minutes within a day or so, and since I will be out of town next month, then we'll go ahead and start making sure. So we'll,
Approve as is, and if needed, we can adjust.
yeah, do you think that's appropriate? Can we do that? Yeah?
Couldn't we just include in the motion that our backup would be?
Yes,
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
that's a great idea.
Love
Yep,
it.
yep,
Well, here's the
absolutely.
question. Does that actually have to be voted on? I have never been on an
Yeah, I
organization
don't-
where we have to vote for the days.
Or where we're meeting. I just know that they have to be posted within 72 hours or whatever.
Right, but does that require action, an actual vote?
I think it does because it has to be posted, the minutes have to be posted, not only at City Hall, but at the place that you're having the meeting.
Yeah,
Right,
but
I
she's right.
understand
We've
that, but
never
I'm saying, do
voted.
we have
Oh.
to vote on it, or do we all just, yeah, sounds good?
Yeah,
That I don't know. We did put it on the agenda as a vote,
Yeah.
since we did
Vote
that,
to
I
be
guess.
safe.
Let's just vote to be safe.
but then also make them, if you'll say.
Adjust, make the
Yeah,
motion. of-
thank you.
If the historical park isn't available, we'll meet here at the rec center.
Great. I'll make that motion that we accept the dates as proposed and locations as proposed, except changing the last three, September, October, November, to the historical park, with the backup plan that if the historical park is not available, we will revert back to the rec center.
I will second that.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Yeah,
All those in favor? Don,
Would you like to answer that?
can't you type fast?
Do you see me on the
You are. You're doing a great job. Okay, let's move on. But we'll give Dawn just a minute to finish those thoughts.
Yeah, oh, because I'm the next.
Well, and I've asked, I know, and I've asked her to be a little more detailed, so it used to be, it could be very simple, but now I'm being asked to make it more detailed, so I've
You
asked
should
them
tell
to.
them just to watch the video. It's so enthralling.
You should have saw me trying to get it uploaded, yeah.
And this is a weird question, but why is it more detailed? Because according to Robert's Rules of Orders, the only things that should be included in minutes are actions taken. All discussion should not be included in the minutes. That can be, I mean, that's recorded, but these are legal documents that can be
That's what I
presented
thought.
in the court of law.
You said that.
So discussions should not be included in minutes.
Well, I don't know if it's discussed, we put it as a memo item, we add the memos to it.
But like I said, the only thing that should be ever listed is this was presented, a motion was taken and it was passed or whatever. It's really only supposed to be actions taken, anything we vote on. They're supposed to, location, people present, time the meeting began, time the meeting ended, and just what we voted on,
Not how we got here.
not how we got there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can have a free discussion.
Yeah, whereas the other things would just kind of be notes that we have.
Yes,
Because even our own notes, anything we write down can be admitted into the court of law.
I like it.
well, is that not the way it is presented here?
No,
And-
it's more detailed.
Oh, is it?
Like, we've never had this much information.
Right,
before.
because we have someone else doing the minutes, and that's how it's been done with the other boards. I could get clarification
Or
on
just
that.
ask, yeah.
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be great.
I mean, if
That
it's
was,
something that the city's requesting, that's different, obviously, but I'm just thinking Robert's Rules of Order and what's,
well, the city is requesting more detail,
okay.
yeah.
So they do want discussion points.
That's the way I understood it, and that's the way, so they put the agenda item as almost like a bullet point, but then we follow with the memo that has the discussion of, or whatever we talked about in it. But I can clarify that, because I don't want to say the wrong thing.
I still bullet point and I'm fine.
What?
I'm
What did you say?
Obsessive in that way?
just bullet point.
Yeah, it's not like you're typing word for word what we're saying at all, but,
No, just,
I got it,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
yeah.
nor could I.
Right, right. Plus, they have, again, this
They have-
really exciting video to watch.
Okay.
Okay, Dawn, your turn.
Okay, so CFB art shows. So I reached out to, we are going to have our art show, the Farmers Branch Carrollton Art Association. That goes up next month. That comes down, and then we'll also do a Farmers Branch art show at the Mansky Library as well, which is normally at City Hall in the lobby, but since it's getting renovated, I do have approval for that. It will be March 1st through April 5th for that. They also have another show of something going on at the same time, so they're just gonna borrow the pro panels from City Hall. So all that's been confirmed. We are good to go with all that.
Awesome, sounds great.
Trevor through the library has been awesome.
Yeah, he's super.
He's been great.
Good.
And the one that's in November, it's like November 1st to,
I'd have to look at the dates. Yeah, it's like November 1st through first part of December. I do have the dates, but I'd have to look them up.
Great, I'm glad that they're doing that.
and both of them are CFB.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that just a temporary move? Like, would you
Yes.
hope to go back to City Hall?
We hope to go back to City Hall, but we also need to see how the renovation
Yeah,
looks like, to see how that looks, to see if it will work in that space as well. But it's been nice to have something else. It'll be interesting. I'll go to the Mansky Library and check it out and see if the shows work well there.
Mhm.
Because it's not where it used to be in that front room, where it was perfect. So we'll have to see how much traffic and, you know.
Where's it gonna be in there?
Well, there's gonna be one spot upstairs in the top right corner,
Mhm.
and then downstairs right before you go to the pickleball court. So I'll have 2 schools up and then 2 schools. And then Bonnie has some 3D display boxes that we'll be utilizing as well. So, and then Sam decided to take pictures of the 3D artwork, so this way, it's just pictures of it.
Excellent, okay, any other questions? Thank you. Okay, so we did our plan of work, I hope you all did your homework. I know I did. Or Don sent an email and I quickly replied to it and said, this sounds great. So, is this in here? I guess not, okay. So Don, do you want to say what our plan of work?
Sure. So I think it's important that we have a database in which we can enter information regarding pieces that we own. I mean, we already have a collection, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's a need to have some inventory control over that. Of course, acquisitions would be entered into it as well. The benefits of it are, it's probably necessary for insurance purposes. I don't know what the current situation is regarding insuring these pieces. But a database establishes a value, which typically is used by risk assessment managers to determine what the coverage needs to be of those things. And we can also enter in the restoration and conservation plan and the costs associated with that. If product is moved from location to location, it probably doesn't happen that often, but it might. We can manage everything that has to deal with the art piece through this database, or with this database, so that we have it for record. And so what we would need in order to do that is to determine what sort of database to create. There are certainly systems, software systems available in the marketplace that have a membership fee. So if there's 1 user or 2 users, they charge accordingly. The one that I use, the Building Suite uses, is $85 per month per user. Probably we would have 1, maybe 2 users in our circumstances. I'd have to look into the actual startup costs for a system like that. Or we could just manage it on our own. We could create Word documents and track it that way. That can be tedious and time consuming, and it doesn't allow you to run reports that group items together, or values together, or conditions together. So there's some real limitations in that, but if costs are an issue, we could just do it old school, you know, in a ledger type format.
The historical park does have a program, it's called Past Perfect, and that's how they keep all their records for what they have in their inventory. And Hillary did say that that's something that arts and culture can use. So it's a system already set up that you enter. I'm not familiar with it, but she's very familiar with it. And she said she would be willing to help to get that established if that was something that you all were wanting. It's called Past Perfect, and the historical park has used that for quite a while.
Wonderful. I'd love to take a closer look at it.
Okay?
It sounds, I mean, without having taken a look, I would imagine that it would fit our needs, that your needs are probably similar to ours when it comes to tracking and monitoring your own items.
Yeah, and then you know, you put in the condition of the item, the value of the item, for us who, if it was donated, or where did it come from? And, yeah, and said she would be willing to show, and if we needed additional users, that she can address too. And if it's, I think they pay I want to say it's yearly that they pay for a subscription for it, but she was definitely inviting you all to be able to use what we already have and have used, and she's quite familiar with it.
Well, thanks to her.
Yep. So can I send her your email and phone number, and you all can talk about that?
Absolutely.
Okay?
Please do. So that was goal number one. You know, in order to accomplish that, though, we'd have to pull whatever documents there are from, I guess, archives. I don't know if there's an available, I don't know if there's any kind of database other than the one you just mentioned that has a collection of records for these pieces. I just don't know. But, you know, to the extent that we need to be thorough, we'll have to research that and get the necessary documents.
Bonnie, is that something you could ask around? Because
Yeah.
my guess is it's probably in parks. I mean, it's maybe where the park is located. This art here at the rec center, is that parks, you know?
Yeah, I think I'll start with our city secretary, you know, and see, like, start at City Hall and see if they had records for certain art throughout the city. It was my understanding they didn't have a lot of that, like there wasn't inventory for all the different art pieces, but I don't know, so I will find that out. And I will start, I'll start with Maria, and then she'll direct me on where to go, and hopefully I will have an answer for you next month on that.
Yeah. So usually the acquirer, the point of acquisition, has those.
Okay.
records. Usually.
So the acquirer being the city or being the department where it's come,
Well, whomever purchased it.
or whoever purchased
Yeah,
it?
the purchaser. So they would
Okay,
have
so the purchaser.
the invoice,
Mhm.
and the artist's name, usually all that sort of information. And then I don't know if the cost associated with that is allocated to a particular property, or if you expense that.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're buying for a site-specific installation, so maybe they purchase it there and expense it over here, then I don't know what happens to that flow of information. But I would think that the acquiring source would have the original documentation associated with any.
Okay,
And then the second item was to create a conservation/restoration plan. So, which, I don't know how much more can be said about that, is that we just need to examine each piece. I mentioned before that there are some art conservators and restorers who, in hopes of getting, you know, the business, will do a free inspection and create a proposal for the work that's needed. The pieces that I've seen are in very good shape. And I'm assuming that there hasn't been much, if any, conservation work done to them. But in decent condition, so I may be able to find a person that I thought I could use to give us a free estimate. His business has grown to the point where he doesn't have the time. But there are others that I can resource. See if we can get, come out and take a look at these individual pieces. So know, of course, where they are. It's
Yeah.
going to be important. And for them to have access if they're in Lockport or whatever. And then third was to create a budget around that. So we get the proposal, and then we have to somehow determine how to create the dollars that we're going to be assigned to that. Restoration conservation schedule, is it a biannual, is it an annual? And we really won't know that until the piece is seen and determinations made about the condition and predict the future needs that piece will be. And let's see what else. Another thing I think is worth considering is whether or not we want to continue acquiring. So we have 3 pieces that are part of the permanent collection that we've been involved with. And I'm sure that there are others that are going to be coming along. So when do you want to take a look at that, and how do you want to go about doing it? Are we going to, I think it's important to have a location, context is important, right, to determine where a piece needs to be before we begin sourcing out an artist or maybe a pre-made piece, or commission piece for that. So just need to give some thought to whether or not that's something that we want to do and make it part of our annual budget to acquire a piece or 2. I love the idea of that. Not everyone probably will, but it seems important for in a continued building. And then Natalie mentioned that there are art-related projects that originate outside of this committee that we have no involvement with at this point. I think someone is sourcing a mural.
Yeah, so, well, do you have more information about that?
I
The
do.
Hoya? Oh, sure. So, go ahead.
No, you could start.
Oh, so, Bonnie and I were talking about the Hoya Park, and they were talking about wanting the mural on the bathrooms building, which is in there somewhere. So, and she had mentioned that they have a tight timeline and want to designate a company for them to pay to do a mural, which I thought was, we had talked about it, and there was no mention of a budget or timeline, but all of a sudden it's very crucial for them to have that money allocated. So I was thinking, why are we here if the city's not consulting us about major projects that are happening in the city? Or they did consult us, but didn't give us any information, like detailed information. So I thought presenting verbiage to the council would say, if there's a project that's over a certain amount of money, it should be run by the Arts and Culture Committee for vetting before the city spends X amount of money on, or some kind of language to present to them. I know we're an advisory board, but if we're not going to be even used as that, then why are we here?
So I talked to Maria about that, and funds were needed to be used at a last fiscal year, which ended September 30th. So the PO had to be set up at that point, and I think that's what they were alluding to as far as getting it quickly because the funds were already allocated. Maria and then Rachel Johnson, who came and spoke, she does the Hello Farmers Branch. She had seen Icon's work. They had already researched it for the mural for Firehouse. That was one company they were planning on going with, and then Scott ended up doing it, which took them almost a year to do it, that mural. So it was a very long process, and this is me relaying what I was been told. And they were possibly going to use them for other projects like Firehouse Theater. And they were familiar with their work. They have several large murals downtown. Since this park is a high-profile project with national attention, they felt that this company could handle that. The restrooms have just now been completed. And so that's what they were waiting on, and the company will work on the mural during the winter to finish soon after grand opening, which grand opening is November 4th for the park, for Hoya. Icon has a team of artists with professional portfolios. Hoya Park is located in the Arts and Culture District, considered the crown jewel of Farmers Branch, so it's a main focus for Farmers Branch. And Maria did use your recommendations to paint the mural rather than to wrap it. So it's going to be a complete mural completely around the restroom. And she brought the recommendations to upper management, and everyone agreed to go ahead and paint rather than another way. She had asked for the committee to come up with elements, concepts, and themes to feature on the mural, and to be used in the mural to complement the park, and Maria will present it, what the Arts and Culture Committee, with their recommendations, will present it to management for the mural. And it says here, bring renderings of park to meeting. That was my note. So I made a copy of Hoya and then where the bathroom is located to give you an idea when you're looking at the elements of the park. And so she said, and the sooner you all can come up with the elements, concepts, and themes, that she could, to add to the features, that she will definitely present that to management too, as a recommendation from the Arts and Culture.
What is the timeline on that?
They're working on it, so the opening is November 4th, and they're hoping by the first part of 2024, so.
It seems like realistically, we don't have time to get that feedback.
That's crazy. I mean,
So,
No.
that, yeah, so,
How long does it take us when we do the citizen call for the electrical boxes? What does that timeline look like?
Dawn, do you remember what
Several months.
what was it?
Several
Several
months.
months.
Yeah.
I have to go back and look, because this last one was due in June, and we pushed it out
March. or
March, I think, so.
I think I agree with Natalie. I think it's a shame that the committees where the experts are wasn't used, but I think even more of a concern is this was an opportunity to include citizens like we've done with the electric boxes, and we completely missed involving 40,000 Farmers Branch residents to have their flower on the float. And in an effort to get a budget met or some timeline thing done. And so that's my opinion about it.
Are you all interested, though, in giving a few suggestions or features or elements to include? I did provide 3, and this is just me relaying 3 pictures of where the restrooms are placed right here. And is that something?
Apologize for my comments
What?
about it being crazy, the timeline for that. That was inappropriate for me to say it was crazy. It's just not a lot of time.
Right.
To get this sort of thing, the thought, I think, is needed. And to David's point, to bring in the community. I think it would be a contribution to the extent that it's needed from this committee to submit some ideas. I'd like to be involved.
But are we saying we need to do that right now? I mean, it has to be done today.
Yeah, I don't think so, because we're gonna start.
Well, the grand opening's November 4th, so they'll
So
start.
yes, we need to decide right now what
Yes.
some suggestions are.
Yes,
So they want it
Okay.
painted, installed.
yes.
They're painting it.
No, but rather, beginning of January.
And that was based off of your suggestions, like, this was before me, Maria said that you all agreed that painting would be a better fit for that instead of, originally they talked about wrapping it. I'm just,
Yes, but I think the issue is, this is the first we're hearing about it since,
the first you're hearing about what?
Yeah, this is,
about a mural happening. Yeah, we were like, that's great, mural, let's go. And then, I think we maybe brought it up last meeting or the meeting before, like, can we get an update on that? So-
Right, and that's what I'm bringing to you, yeah.
So the wall faces, looks like the playground, is that correct?
It's, yeah, and it's, they're painting the whole,
A young children's area, I should rephrase that. So are they wanting something that ties in with that part of the park, maybe?
just the whole concept, Hoya Park is the crown jewel, it's jewel, so it's like the crown jewel of the city.
Are they
So,
using glow-in-the-dark paints to kind of go along with what is there, because that's kind of the whole theme.
I could ask
Actually, that
that.
would be a good concept
It
suggestion.
would be helpful if we,
Yeah.
I've never seen the park, I mean, I gotta tell you, it would be helpful to have an idea of what it looks like and how it presents. at
well,
night.
the whole idea is that it's a lit up night park.
So that's what makes me think of.
Right, but it's open in the day.
Right, totally, so it has to
Got
work
it.
during the day too. So glow in the dark paint, I don't know, is vibrant during the day, I don't know
So
how
it
to
has to be lit well for the
withstand-
night.
Well, and I'm sure they'll have lighting on it
Yeah.
that will show it. She said elements to be used in the mural, concepts, themes, special features that tie into the meaning of Hoya, which is the crown jewel of Farmers Branch.
What does that mean? That's their tagline or Hoya?
Well, Hoya means jewel, yeah, crown jewel, jewel. So it's like the jewel of the city.
So is it possible we could go on with other committee reports and then come back to this so everybody can kind of be thinking it over rather than saying we need an answer right now? Is that possible?
It is.
We could come back to it at the end of the meeting, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah, and I apologize because, when it was brought up last month, I wanted to get information on it also. And this is just
Yeah,
what I
I
have
think
been
if we could
told.
just have a few minutes to digest and maybe going on to other reports might be positive.
I'd like to ask one question, so I can sort of think about it. Have they made any selections? Do they have an established direction themselves at this point?
I have not heard.
Okay.
I have not heard that. Maria said if you all have direction and features and elements you'd like to see included that tie in to the meaning of it and the purpose,
That they already have some
Yeah,
ideas,
I feel like-
okay.
and they did say that they were going to I think she said she was going to reach out to you, Natalie, to look at once it was, there were features or renderings of it, that she was going to reach out for opinion at that point and suggestion. So if we had some kind of list even to give her and then having you, or the committee to look at it, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay, artist outreach, do y'all have your
Yeah.
Can I read our mission?
plan of work?
Okay, so we're gonna start, we really discussed what our committee means, because, we've had confusion and discussion. So this is our mission statement for our subcommittee: to give a voice to artistic residents for the purpose of adding artistic expression and experiences to the everyday life of local residents and employees.
Love that.
And now here's our,
Okay, so goal number 1 is the artist exchange. It's all filled out, I'll email it to.
Yes, Dawn and I would be helpful, so we can include it, yeah, and,
But basically everything we've already said, there's not really much new here. Then number 2 is to promote and improve the artist directory. We want to run an additional call for artists and work with city staff to use city marketing tools. That would be the beginning of next year. One thing we had talked, we actually have had a lot here, so. One thing, we think it needs to be prominently featured in maybe the January Hello Farmers Branch letter, newsletter, whatever.
So we could call again.
Like
to
a
get more
really,
people.
like very featured, like, hey, this is a thing, please sign up. And then I see no reason why there shouldn't always be
A little
a
reminder.
little reminder every single issue of that. Why not? Hey, make sure you're a part of this. So we'd really like to do that. So run the additional call, which would probably largely be through that newsletter, maybe some social media. We have to ensure local art supporters and artists are aware of this directory with that. So currently, if you go to try to find the directory, the link
The
doesn't.
link isn't active anymore.
Yeah.
So that would be,
So I tried to go in and periodically what I try to do is go in and see if there's duplicates so we can clean it out, see if anybody new has added. And the link isn't active.
so right now it's not even visible.
So when you go to the arts and culture page and you click on artist directory, it sends you to Discover Farmers Branch, and then there's no link on Discover Farmers Branch to get to the artist directory. So I don't know if that's me and I'm just
No, that's.
misstepping somewhere, but I couldn't, yeah, neither one of us could get access to that artist directory, and so we thought that might be something that needed to be kind of looked at.
Yeah, I'll have Rachel look at that.
So yeah, we would then kind of the third goal of this overall goal is improve the functionality and visibility. So we're talking about what we would like to see when you go to this list: name, contact, their kind of artistic speciality, and then it would be awesome if it was able to link to whatever their online presence is.
Their
Social
website or
website,
their social
portfolio.
media,
If
because
that can be a thing, it'd be
sometimes
really
I think it's, we like it to almost be like shopping for an artist, you know, and to make it more user-friendly for the client, I think having access to their social media or their website that has their portfolio may be beneficial. So I think that would benefit the artist, and I think it would also benefit whoever, you know, the
Yeah.
city or a local business, whoever's gonna be the client.
I agree.
So that's number 2 on our list.
And then number 3 is kind of the arts day, I would say branch arts live. So that one we think will kind of exist within 2 committees. So kind of what I'm looking at, kind of the timeline, I think we secure the location sometime in the front half of the year. We would like to use the firehouse, the venue is there, as opposed to kind of having to find when Blue Bluegrass is or some stuff we think that could work really well. Seek out artist submissions using the directory, which is hopefully improved by then. And then the event itself, obviously, and probably a similar time, probably late summer, early fall, like it is this year. And we would want this to encompass more art forms than this current one going to, which has always been the goal in the future. At the theater, we talked about having like gallery space in the lobby, you know, for visual arts, and then some performance-based arts in the theater proper. And running it probably as kind of like an all-day or all-afternoon event, wherein there would still kind of be a schedule of you knew what act is up next, and kind of taking breaks in between sets so that it can still have a bit of a come and go feel that that an outdoor venue just automatically gives you. No, did you have anything to add?
I love it. Yeah, I think it's great.
I
Sounds
will
great.
clean it up a little more.
And you'll send it to us? Yeah, so then,
For sure.
That's great.
and would you add the, your mission statement too in that Hello Fund?
I'll do that. I'll send it to Ellen.
No, I think it's perfect because, and do you know kind of what you wanted to say in the January Hello Farmers Branch? You think about it, like the little tag that you want to,
Honestly, getting the directory visible again and a little feedback from staff on what that can be. I think we kind of need to know before we know how to advertise it.
well, at least get the link working to start with. Okay.
Thank you.
That'd be step one.
Yeah.
All right, committee administration and oversight.
My recommendation is that we sunset that whole category. The only thing, in my opinion, that's still alive on there is the Arts District, which is now really a branding project. And I would be glad to move that over to the grant making and funding area and just retire the rest of that. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, I would agree.
So combine the two into,
Yeah. So the goals that we had this past year was approve the arts district boundaries and signage and the branding, and it's kind of morphed to really the signage, which we're getting an update on today. And then the only thing left of that, not that the arts district is dead because it hasn't really launched yet, but the branding is really the rest of the story, and that's a funding conversation. So it seems like that would fall under funding and grant making.
Okay.
The cross-committee planning guide was something that was here, has been here maybe from the beginning. And I don't know that anything's ever really happened with that. And then the 2 to 5 year funding plan sort of is already on the grant making and funding list as well, so it seems duplicative. So yes, if you want to say combine the two.
yep. And what would you call it?
I'm still calling it grant making and funding,
Okay,
or if we want to change it to funding and grant making, I mean, it could be,
so grant making and funds development, formerly grant making and funding. I think it's called now grant making and funds development.
yeah.
Do you like that?
I think I'm recommending we change it back to funding.
Funding.
Okay,
Development means you're raising money.
Okay.
Funding is more like the budget and funding is sources. And since we've moved that away from the oversight, it seems like it would just flow into this area.
Okay, so grant making and funding.
Yeah. And I have a,
Perfect.
Oh, he printed it out.
Oh, thank you, David.
I wanted to make it easy on Dawn.
So nice.
Thank you.
Butter.
Thank you so much.
welcome.
And me, I can't, by this time of night, my brain
I know,
barely
yeah, I had to
functions.
write it down to see it.
There's nothing really new on the list. It's basically through the same goals. One is the nonprofit organization. Review the pros and cons of partnering with an established nonprofit organization. Continue researching to revive the former nonprofit organization that was called Farmers Branch Arts Foundation. And then I think there's a point that this group needs to determine the purpose and goals. The original group wanted this because they thought we were going to they wanted a vehicle to receive funds, and then they thought we would be giving grants. Well, we've neither received funds nor have we given any grants the year I've been on here.
Correct.
And I don't know that we're any further down the road with that. And so I think there's a conversation to be had about, where are we on this? I guess my point is, if someone came to the city with a $5,000 check to donate to arts and culture, the fact that we don't have a nonprofit, I am 100% sure the city will figure out where to put that in the library nonprofit or whatever, and it's earmarked as arts. And so it's not like we don't have the ability to receive funds if they were to fall out of the sky. This is my opinion. But I think it's probably worthy of a deeper conversation. Then the second one is continuing to study the sister cities arts and culture programs. That's kind of an ongoing project, and there is a new goal to prepare a report maybe by May that has all of that gathered, and then we as a group can decide, you know, do we want to present that to council? What are the next steps that we do with that information? And then the third one is the funding oversight piece. We need an updated arts and culture budget from city staff. Especially since there seemed to be some confusion about that. With one of the funds was supposed to be, it never goes away, and then all of a sudden,
Right.
oh no, that wasn't a, so I think we should get an update about that. And then to track that, once we have that, we can track the spending on the various projects. This kind of goes back to what Don was saying about acquiring new pieces. If we don't even know if we have a budget, we certainly can't acquire new pieces. If we did know we had a budget, then we could put that on
Yeah.
our calendar, under scope of work. And then I just added to that Arts District branding. I just hand wrote that in there.
For under goal 3?
Uh-huh. Under funding oversight, Arts
Mhm.
District branding.
And with that, would we talk about the street toppers?
Yeah, do you want to look at the street toppers since you just brought that up?
I know, David, you had asked for an update on that. So I just wanted to give you a picture of what it, I don't know where mine is, but what it looked like. So yes, Maria did get final approval. That is what the street toppers will look like. It has been signed off on. They are on order and will be put in by the end of the year. 15 of them will be placed in the Arts District or near the Arts District. So she was very excited about that. It took a lot because, you know, we had the Acorn on there and she had to get it refitted and all that. But 15 is just the first set and then hopefully many more. That is the actual branding. Those are the colors that were approved and she was pretty excited about it. So I hope you all are
The
too.
street sign goes in between the two, like the red and William Dodson Parkway or whatever it is.
Exactly. So I hope you guys are happy with that.
Nice.
She worked really hard back and forth and trying to get the fittings correct and everything, so.
It's exciting to see it, because it feels like, okay, we're making.
Yes.
progress. And we knew it was gonna be a slow thing.
Yeah,
But it's exciting to see it
Yeah.
actually happen.
yes. Well, and the sign off on it was, and it's interesting because the timing, you just asked about it and then I got an email within a day or two that said, okay, they're signing off on the color. Because you know, and I'm sure you all know, but there's hundreds of colors and all that, and the branding, which you all had a big input on for that, that's what they came up with, and it was all approved by upper management, by the city, and there we go. So they are on order, and they will be installed as soon as they come in.
Awesome.
Super. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's exciting. Yay, one good thing.
All right,
Bonnie, I would like to ask if you could find out where they're going to install that.
Yes.
And just, if we
Yes.
had a map with you, here's the
Exactly,
place, that would
and,
be awesome to know.
You know, and I wanted to have that, and
Yeah.
then Maria was out of town, but yes, I will have a map with the
That needs
locations.
to go in the newsletter.
yeah.
Mhm.
Perfect.
That would be a great thing, once they're installed, to go into our newsletter.
Okay, let me write that.
I don't know, that's a good question.
Say it again.
Like the, for headlights and so forth. I try to magnify the specs and you can see a reference to that.
Oh, for, yeah.
Topper, let me see if I have any in my email. Each topper
It
will,
usually is like on the way signs, it's reflective. You know what those
Look
are,
at it.
that point to different things, that's reflective. The street signs are reflective. So intuitively, you would assume, but it's a great question.
Right, but as a sort of a more custom piece, it might need to be specified, it's just hard to know.
Yeah.
And then like, the ones in Plano aren't like that, are marking areas, they're not reflected.
Let's see if I have anything on that. If not, I will find that out, Don, and I will email it to you. If it's, I did get, I don't know. Let's see it. But I will ask about that.
Festivals and contests?
I guess my first question would be, do we have funding to do any more electrical boxes or street?
Not at this time. I'm hoping next year that that's something we can do. But I think we are just awaiting. The PO has been opened. We work with Speed Pro in Addison. Did I give you this information? I think it was asked for me to get this information about the purchase orders open with Speed Pro in Addison. They also installed the Addison electrical box wraps, and they will prepare the box, print and install the vinyl wrap. The material is the same material used to wrap vehicles, and an added gloss laminate will also be applied to the print before installation. This provides the UV and scratch protection, because I know we talked about that. So I hope that, we're hoping to have that installed, the two art pieces that you picked, and then the third one would be a branding of our Mustang Station logo. So I can ask about the funding for more electrical boxes.
And do we know when those other ones are gonna be?
The PO's open, they're ready to be installed. She had to resize them because the electrical boxes that we used on the first three are different. The sizing was different. And I did put a bug in her ear to resize them. And she said, that's all she has to do. They're ready to go with the PO open. So it's, yes,
And
hopefully.
Get the location on those as well,
Mhm.
because I know that last time we did pictures of the people.
With the artists.
With the artist, and so if we do that again, that can also be part of the newsletter, but we would need to know location.
And they were traffic signals, right? Is that what they called the boxes?
I think so.
Yeah, traffic signal boxes, a little bit different. She said the sizing was different,
Right.
so, and that's what, it took her a little bit longer to, this is Rachel I'm talking about, that gave this information. So you want the location of that and,
Just when they're going to be complete.
Yeah.
and This way we can reach out to the artist, have them go take pictures themselves, send it in, and then we can have it for.
I know she was hoping like before the year's end.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously under contests, we also have through the Farmers Branch Carrollton Art Association, it's a scholarship contest as well for those kiddos that we talked about that art contest earlier. As far as shows, installations, for goal number 2, we do have that Farmers Branch art show that will be at Nancy Library, March through April. We will do the painted rocks again at the historical park. Install those around March as well. And festivals number 3 continue the Branch Arts Live. And since it is this Sunday, we will be able to kind of get a feel for what it looks like and how it went and what are our next steps. You know, do we move it? We know it's really challenging to have it attached to the Bluegrass Festival with just the workload of the historical park. So, and we just got to look at what the city would want. Could we possibly have this at another time using the stage, or does it need to be at the firehouse? I would love to keep it outdoors if possible, because I think the growth of it could get so big that I would love for it to be so big that it would be bigger than the firehouse. I mean, that's hard to tell. I guess we will find out more on Sunday if I'm sitting there by myself, maybe, we'll be like, we got this. We're gonna, do selfies or whatever. whatever, but we'll kind of have a good idea. We do have 28 groups performing, so when you calculate all the dancers that will be there.
And
it
then
should be-
audience, that is a lot of people.
It
Oh, yeah.
should be quite a few people, so that will kind of give us an idea. I did talk to Carla Hardaway, and she has some food truck vendor contacts, so if we need to include that for future, we have some connections there. We are going to have some artists from Creekview and Newman Smith that will be present on Sunday as well, to sell some of their stuff, and those proceeds will go back into their art clubs, back into the schools. So, yeah, we will know a lot more after Sunday, so the next time we meet, we'll kind of be able to tell you how it went, what maybe were the problems, maybe what areas we see the major growth. We do want to see it grow into possibly other,
Arts,
the other arts and adding more artists and, but the logistics of that is figuring that out. And this was a lot, just doing 28,
It's a lot.
and
Dawn
then
has
if
worked
you-
very,
Yes.
very hard.
Yes, she
Tagging
has.
everybody in.
yeah, so if you add on top of that, so it's just the, because obviously we're free labor, which, we all love what we do, we're all gonna do it, but at some point you're like, we have to have the manpower
Yes.
to run a huge festival also.
Well, and to carry the flooring.
There's
She
that.
was cutting the flooring herself and losing sleep over that. So, yeah, I think
It's just all the little
we need
things.
literally muscle power.
Yeah, you do, you need muscle
But
power.
I'm
So-
wondering if some of the artist exchange might not help us that way too. Like if we can, and we have this event, and we'd love for you to be a part of the event. I'm wondering if that might not be a recruitment time for us to get people excited for the next Branch Arts Live, and maybe we can get people that will be involved and help out.
Yeah, and I think we'll definitely know more once we've gone through it and learn all the ins and outs of, oh, that would be easy to add this, and this is where they can go, and that's simple. And, maybe each year it could just be, you tackle maybe one more thing, just so you don't overwhelm yourself. Because it is a lot.
I really like the food truck part of it, for the record.
And
Yeah.
I think that would
That's
be,
a great idea.
I think that is an easy add.
I think so too,
I think
and
that
I
one's an easy
think
add.
that draws in an even larger audience. Because it's so easy for a family to come and plan to stay longer if there's food available, right? It just makes it more of an event. Because the food truck situation is part of what I love about the tree lighting. I love a good hot cocoa on the way back from the tree lighting. So, I think some of that would be a lovely thing to add in, like you said.
And I'll be
easy
curious
do.
to see what is the audience? Is
Right.
it just the dancers and their families and friends? Or is it, people that did see it in
Right.
the advertisement
Right.
that has been out there? Who knows?
Is there gonna be any official photographer there, or is it up to people who are there to take pictures?
It's gonna be.
It's us.
Oh, okay, okay.
This event has been completely, just us money-wise. Like, I'm gonna purchase the, lunch for everyone that's volunteering. That's my money. We don't have any funds that we have for this event, so it's all free. So yes, I probably could have asked somebody, but then, I don't know a photographer to ask.
Well, even an amateur photographer even a high school student, that was looking to gain some,
We'll take pictures.
yeah.
We'll get some pictures. We'll make sure that we stop
And take like short video clips is always good for like Instagram and for next year.
yeah, we can absolutely make sure that happens. But if any of y'all are available and want to come out, it's 1 to 4. This Sunday, I can't believe it's finally happening
I
after
know.
talking about it for months, so it's exciting that it's actually here.
And so again, thank you to Don for all that work.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
So much work.
Well, I'm just excited for the opportunity for everybody to get to perform, and it's gonna be a beautiful day, which makes me really happy, because I was a little nervous, because when you set this, and way back when, and you're going October 22nd, you're like, that could be anything.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
It
true.
could be anything.
Part of what's exciting is this is an event that's kind of died, that the city of Dallas used to have. I mean, there's still something,
Right.
but it's not the same thing. And, you know, when we talk about, and I think it's exciting that we have the National Pickleball tournament here in Farmers Branch. How lovely to take on some of these, also these wonderful arts events that used to be City of Dallas, and look, Farmers Branch has it now. So that's kind of a neat.
And if that
Neat
can
thing.
grow and to be
Yeah.
something that people are really want to be a part of, I think that's a great opportunity for
I think so too.
That's great.
the community.
Fantastic. Thank you for all your hard work. Both of you, Amy, you helped
Yeah.
too.
All right, so, and that's all for your plan of work for
Yeah.
festivals?
The other only thing, and I don't know when to say it, but Owen, you were asking about the Hello Farmers Branch, the audience that it reached. And it is the same audience that gets our bulletin, and I'm not sure if I put it in here.
You did, I don't remember the number off the top. of my
Okay,
head. I did read
it's
it.
close to 10,000, yeah, so.
Follow up to that, it would be interesting to see, 'cause I imagine whatever software they use has this metric, how many, what's the open rate?
Mm-hmm.
What's the what?
It
Open.
actually gets.
How many people actually open it?
Oh, okay, I'll ask that. That's a good
I
point.
think maybe a bit more accurate on what the reach is.
And then follow up to the follow-up. Is there a way to, I'm trying to phrase this correctly. Is there a way perhaps that local artists could purchase ads in that and say that these are not sponsored by or recommended by the city? Do you know what I mean? These are purchased ads, but I wondered if that could be a little way to monetize the thing.
So the money would go to the
I don't
Arts
know.
and Culture Committee?
I don't know. I don't know where the money goes. I'm just thinking it may be a way to get some money. I don't know where the money ends up.
We
I
might
mean,
be a
it would-
nonprofit to collect
Right.
but you know, I mean, that could be, I'm not complaining about if that came here, because it would be great if we had a little money to do
Yeah.
Branch Arts Live or whatever.
Right, and it's not a lot of money, but it would be nice. that
Something.
it-
Like
Yeah.
even $100 would have really helped Branch Arts Live. So if local artists or whatever purchased ads in that, and it was very clear that the city didn't recommend any of these, but these were purchased ads. But see, we're also used to that now, right? We're used to it on social media, and we're used to seeing sponsored ads. We know what we're seeing. We know that Facebook didn't promote that. I just thought that might be a win-win, because it would be an avenue for artists to get their name out there. Maybe a way for the committee to have a little,
Yeah,
so.
I love it. I will ask that question for
Okay,
sure.
great.
I'll ask Rachel.
that'd be great. Good idea. Okay, report on the street, we did that already, the street signs. Receive a report on the West Side Art Trail. Nobody, do you have any?
Yep, I do. I did get an email from Maria today that, and maybe you know more than I know. He was hoping to have the draft is projected for tomorrow. And I believe they were wanting it a combined agreement. They wanting just one agreement for the survey, to get onto the property for the survey, and, let's see, new clause. Scope of work, to get a better idea of what's intended for the space. They're gonna draft a temporary access agreement, and that should be drafted tomorrow. Is that the latest that you,
That's right, so, legal at Billingsley and Pete
Yes.
Had some exchanges to sort of distill down what is most easy and necessary. And so there've been some back and forth discussions about necessary revisions to accommodate both parties.
Mhm.
And so that's in the works, and as mentioned, it should be provided tomorrow.
Correct. Yeah, it says the access and license agreement is intended to allow the city to come onto the property to perform their survey and install and maintain their artwork. It's all going to be completed in one agreement. Yep. And I just got this literally today that said the draft is projected for tomorrow. Okay? So we were excited about that. I just got that forwarded from, and they're,
Awesome. My question is, are we waiting for the pads to be moved before the artists get their money to start?
well, I asked Maria that. I said, at what point can we at least have legal start? Because we did get the ball rolling to get legal to start drawing up the artist contract. And I know that we wanted to get this sorted and get the survey done, and so then I think it can move pretty quickly, so I will ask that. Or do you think we should go ahead and draw up the contract and get them?
I mean, it seems like that's happening, and
I don't think it's happening, but I think that other parties might want to see this in place first.
see the concrete pads moved.
Well, no, just make sure that the contract, the easement has been provided or signed off on
Yes.
that, because at this point, we don't officially have the
That's
land
right.
allocated, right? So that's number one. And then, once we know that there's a place for these things to go, right?
Uh-huh.
Then we can, simultaneously, I can move the pads and get the contracts out.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying, like, once that original contract is signed, then not worry about waiting for the pads to actually get moved, but rather do both at the same time. The pads and getting the artists to start.
So once this is drafted and signed off on, then go ahead and as the pads are either being moved or re-poured, then we can have the contract.
It'll take longer for the contract to be written than it would to have the pads.
Yeah. And he does have the information on
They
that.
had already started the contracts with the artists.
They have the information, but then when this came up,
they-
it's delayed because of
Yeah.
then getting the survey and getting the access agreement.
So let's not forget that a determination needs to be made as to exactly where these pads are gonna go, so that the art can be configured in the best possible way.
So can you determine that from the survey?
Yeah, we can, yes. I think a site visit is helpful, it doesn't have to be everyone, but I think being on site, sort of getting a sense of it, is important. The aerial survey, of course, can, provide, we could operate entirely off of that, but I'm gonna drive by and take a look.
Okay. I think Maria would
Once everything's
appreciate,
signed off.
yeah, I think Maria would appreciate that. And I think then they were just waiting on that to get the survey done. And they were, I thought they were gonna get an outside to perform. The access and license agreement is let's see, to perform the survey and install the work. We do not intend to file a separate easement for the area. The license agreement would only terminate in the event Billingsley decides to develop the property.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yeah.
I will ask Maria about, can we go ahead and at least get them drawn up and
Yeah.
ready to go? And I think he was working on that, but I'll follow up on that also.
Great. We've discussed being, not that we need another thing to do, but being at a table for the craft fair that's at the senior center this weekend. On Saturday, right? It's on Saturday from 10
Yes.
to 4, I think. What do y'all think about that? We mentioned having like a table to.
That also, that was also born from when we thought there would be an artist interchange, there was more closely to it.
So we were
It-
trying to get people to
People
come to
come back.
artist interchange.
Right, I'm
It
trying to figure out
also-
why, what we would do there.
I don't think that, I
It
don't
was
think
all-
that the same need exists at this point.
It was also brought up, it was originally brought up, and then we were told, oh, wait, it might not be happening, or it might not be there. And we went a couple months without getting an answer to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a vestige of something that kind of passed us, more than anything, so.
I'm totally okay with us saying we don't need a
I don't think we need that.
table there anymore, but I just wanted to,
Yeah.
because I emailed with the woman, who, I can't remember her name right now, who runs it.
Jennifer?
Jennifer, and she said, yeah, you guys have a table. Then I was like, why are we, what are we doing there? I think we just wanted to have a presence to
Yeah.
say there's an arts and
It
culture
made a little more
committee.
sense 7 months ago than it does today.
But that could be done with a pamphlet or a QR code.
That's an email.
Right, that's an email, right,
Mm-hmm.
or text. Okay, just wanted to,
And that's why I also put the Day of the Dead celebration. We did talk about if you were interested in coming out to that event and putting a, having information or wanted a table, you're welcome.
I
That-
just wanna come.
Yeah, that is my event, so,
I just wanna
actually,
be there.
yeah,
Just
so
to be
come
there.
and it's free to the community. We're gonna have mariachi and, there'll be a community altar, so you can come, and reflect and celebrate your loved ones that have passed over in the church. Dawn's, Arl Turner, Royal Lion Dance Company will be, who is performing on Sunday, will be performing folklorico along with the mariachi, and then a local group, a husband and wife, Nova Pangea, will also be performing. And we'll have a couple of local restaurants that you can purchase food, an airbrush artist, an art, a kids area with making flower crowns and different things, and loteria, which is Mexican bingo, which is quite fun.
fun.
So, question, if we paid for it ourselves, could we have t-shirts made with our arts and culture logo on it? So if we attend said event, obviously we can't get it done in time, but if we attend said event, we could have our arts and culture t-shirt on and, then post that on social media, hey, I'm at this event and I'm part of the arts and culture committee and come out and see the great things our city is doing. Is that something that we could ask, again, if we pay for it ourselves, what would be the possibility that the city would allow us to do that?
Well, and I think that Maria and I had this conversation about possibly ordering T-shirts
Yeah, we
for,
can't order sizes of something.
yeah, so I remember this
It
com,
would be
It would have been great if we had them for Branch Arts
Yeah.
Alive.
yeah,
Because if people are going, oh, who do you need to ask? It would be nice, the person in
Yeah.
the
Right,
blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
Artist exchange, or,
Yeah.
literally, anytime you're at a big city event, the tree lighting.
Yeah,
this,
I agree.
Any of these events, it'd be great if we could kind of, make ourselves known a little bit better to show our support for all these great events.
I will ask about that again, you bet.
Thank you, I
Yep.
appreciate that. Yeah, this sounds fantastic, I'm looking forward to this.
But this is a little related, so I'm just gonna say it now before I forget. And I think we maybe addressed this a month or two ago. Like Natalie just said, yeah, there was a pamphlet there. We could probably use some help with a pamphlet for this committee, period. So I don't know if that, with whatever the branding that we have. And I'm not sure that got 10 minutes or whatever, but.
A pamphlet that what says your mission statement and,
Yeah, for arts and culture specifically, if that, because like this thing is lovely, if there was something being produced that wasn't even this grand, but I think it also, that and t-shirts could be really helpful for, as we want some visibility for what we're doing.
well, would that come from the committee though, or would that come from the city? That I don't know, I'm just asking that. Like, because I know you established your mission statement, is that something, what do you want your pamphlet to say?
Right, I think that's a great idea. You could do just, it could even be sort of what I do for the quarterly reports to the council. Just some of the highlights of what we've done and like longer term projects that, something that wouldn't stale out, but images of projects that are up and,
Isn't what that was a website?
There's
I mean, the
some other-
website does that, but
there's
it's
some
a
other
physical thing.
long term committees like the Historical Art Board library board that I think have had pamphlets in the past.
Okay,
So I think what I would ask is, did they come up with the content themselves and hire their own artists, or did the city do that with input from the community, or how did that work?
right, how does it
Because
work?
however it worked for those long-standing committees, it seems like that would be the same way it would work for us.
I mean, I think we can easily gather the information.
Yeah, and there's two ways. You can do like a trifold pamphlet, or you can do just a,
Second, just a long.
like a rack card, yep.
Yeah, I think a rack card would be
Yeah.
easiest.
Have it in the library, have it in certain areas, and
Mhm.
just,
Yeah,
Well,
so-
I'll get more information
Yeah,
on
if they
that,
have any
sure,
questions on that, that'd be cool.
yep.
Okay, thank you.
okay, before we go over the content for the newsletter, does anybody have ideas? The mural, content, thoughts? I have thoughts, but I'm gonna hold it to myself for a minute.
I'll go ahead and say we would hesitate. I can't imagine there isn't already a plan of some sort, so I don't feel like us giving ideas would be fruitful.
Okay,
So,
anybody else?
right.
I haven't heard that, thank you for saying that. I still have an opinion.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, just, I think it's, I may be stating the obvious, but I think the colors should tie into the elements that are in the park, should have taken that into consideration. I reviewed, just from these images, I have a collection of, just as a side note, 24 colors that I gathered at one point to sort of, that work cohesively together for a mural that we commissioned. And I think that, having a family of colors predetermined to relate to the surround, both daylight and at dark, is hugely important just for the visual connection. And just as a visual, it seems to me, since this is a primarily exclusively
I-
it's a play park, is that
It is a play park. I'm not sure if it's exclusively for children or not.
No, I think both,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what an adult would do here other than watch their kids. I mean, because I haven't seen it. I mean, is there,
There's not gonna be alcohol served, so I agree.
Well, they are planning on doing some night programming.
With alcohol?
Yeah, I think they
Wow.
will bring in some night
Farmers
programming. And what that is, I don't know if it's been determined yet. But,
but a collection of faces,
collection of what?
faces.
Faces?
Not necessarily in a portrait style, but sort of a caricature style. There's a pop artist out of LA who does it sort of profiles, they're animated, they're fun, they're not complex. Multicolored, a prismatic approach. To give it some geometry around the side of that tends to be pretty captivating and works well with, a variety of contrasting, complementing colors. That could be an idea. If someone wanted to bring in elements of the city and do some sort of symbolism for this location, historical park and Mustang Station, of course. Again, I'm sure that all that's been taken into consideration, but just out of the need to contribute.
I love it. And who is the artist out of LA just for my own, just for myself to do my homework, to look it up, to see what you were going for there.
I'll get that to you.
Okay, yep.
Let's see if I can get that.
David or Don, do you have any?
I
Comments?
love what Don's talking, I like the face
I
idea.
do too.
People in the
because-
park,
Oh,
that
that's,
aren't really
yeah,
real
that's
people,
fantastic.
but
Yeah.
are, I think that's a great idea. And I like the 24 color things.
Yeah.
That's sort of approach.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's great. I like the faces, being different faces of Farmers Branch, because Farmers Branch is so multicultural, and I would love to see that reflected in the park.
Yeah,
I think that would be wonderful.
I would also just say nothing like too representational.
To what?
Representational. More abstract. I was thinking about when David said, it's too bad they didn't bring the citizens box, then I thought, oh, it would be cool to have their shadows reflected on the thing, like people to volunteer and be like, hey, I'll stand here, and it could be a tracing of their shadows in these really bright colors. Having people represent it, so just thinking about, and then them actually being, there's that artist in Chicago who did the Millennium Park where he videos citizens in Chicago, and their faces are on those two big towers, and they're spitting water. You see that one? Can't remember the name of the artist. But, I mean, those are videos, so I just like the idea of like involving people. Color, yeah. I think they probably. Any other comments?
So do we want to come up with like 5 or 6, like, how do we want to put this in a list that I could give it to Maria? Like, I wrote it all down, but
Bullet points, like short little.
like, what do we,
Possible?
yeah? So, because I have colors to tie in the colors of the park, 24 colors, family of colors, light and dark for visual connection, collection of faces, characters, geometry, captivating, profiles, shadows, elements of the city, symbolisms, multicultural, nothing too representational, more abstract. That's all the things I got. Is that right? Did I miss anything?
I love like movement, like even though it doesn't move, but just not, that it's not just, I don't know, because it's playful.
I feel like that we've delivered what we were asked for, which was elements, themes, and concepts. That to me is a bulleted list of
There you go.
elements, themes, and
Okay.
concepts. That's what we just delivered.
Okay, so do you like what I wrote down? Is that kind of, did that represent? I just want to make sure.
When you said light and dark,
Yeah,
it means that the color should work in both the daytime and nighttime.
Okay.
Daylight.
okay. Thank you.
So that could be, you know, reflective paint
So
or.
if you look
Glow in
at
the
the
dark.
park, like from a distance, circle is the overwhelming
Yeah, a lot of
shape
circles.
that I see.
A lot of
So
what?
circles, so just reflective
But I'm
of
wondering
the
if we have
park's
something
geometry.
non-circular is
So when you
my
said
point.
geometry,
Yeah,
or you said,
yeah, I think something.
Yeah, I was trying to write.
yeah,
Yeah.
reflective of the park's geometry.
Okay,
So shadows of citizens, you said shadows
yeah, shadows.
Yeah,
of
so,
citizens,
Yeah,
so,
junior version.
And then you said tracing outlines, what did,
like the shadow.
The shadows.
Shadows.
okay.
so could we also say like, I think, Don mentioned geometry, can we say like geometric to contrast with the circles? Because if you look at the park, it's all circles. So we would want something not circular.
Or, yeah, I mean,
Not,
I
or,
kind of thought you could put some circles in there to reflect the park, or I was also thinking jewel of the park, and since you could do like the clip art of like diamond shapes or different types of, like in a very big, in the background kind of way. I wish we had more time, I would like draw it out, but,
well, I don't think it has to,
yeah.
like today, I have to, because I'm going to type this up and I'll send it to her in an email, but if you could,
Yeah, no, I'm just,
yeah,
I'm a little frustrated. with
I know,
that,
I'm
so
sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So Natalie will get to see a rendering to be able to kind of give them
Mhm.
some guidance to then.
Yeah.
That's
that'd be
what
great
she's,
to do.
that's what I've been
Right,
told.
so this way you'll receive that.
That Maria will reach out to you, is what I have been told.
Great.
So yes, circles, you were saying contrast,
No
Amy.
circles, but
What, just geometric, what,
I don't know, I mean.
geometric in a
Just
big
depends
way?
on how crazy it gets. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Amy, tell me that again, what you were saying, geometric in a big way to, that was not
Contrast with the circle.
contrast with the circle.
A family of colors that are
Yes, all soft lines, we need some, yes.
So the park is all soft lines now.
Yes.
There's not a right angle that I see except for the.
Except the building, the bathrooms.
Yeah.
The bathroom
The
is the
actual
only.
backdrop.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I don't know how the entrances work. I assume people buy tickets to come in. I don't know.
I think it's
I
open.
think it's open. I don't think it's gated at all.
There probably will be a fenced-in area. Is there a fenced-in area?
Not what I'm saying, but maybe,
I thought there were.
What purpose is that building serve? Is it just the equipment?
I think that's the bathroom.
This area here looks like there's a fenced-in area on the
Off to
third.
the upper left, yeah.
But it's a public park in the city,
I bet that's just to keep the little kids from.
and that could be for the younger kiddos. That's why it's fenced in.
All right, we good with that?
Yes.
Okay, great. How about discuss potential content for arts and culture newsletter? I feel like we got it all the
We
way up
got a
to
lot of.
January.
Yeah, I think Firehouse was gonna do, that gentleman, that, Randall McCausland,
Yeah, who do I need to send?
to me.
that? Okay.
Yep.
I'll send
And the
this.
deadline is,
He's going to the paper,
for December is, being Thanksgiving, if you can have it by mid-November, that'd be great.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And then I just put here, this was Don's recommendation. Maria did reach out to him, and he was excited and honored that we were going to feature him. And we just took elements off of his website, like you suggested, and put a bio together. And that will be featured in November.
Oh,
Yep.
great. So we're up to January or no?
We've already
Well-
got January.
Right?
Yeah, I have to reach out. I haven't reached out yet, but I got the website, his website, his
Alicia
name.
Garcia, is that-
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Exactly. So I have his Alicia. Yep, Alicio Garcia, Jen's father. Yes.
And then tonight we added for the Arts and Culture District, the sign toppers, whenever those are going to be installed.
Yes, I think they're just waiting on them to come in.
Yeah, I'm just saying, including that.
In the newsletter.
Oh, yes, the map.
November, December, or January, whenever that works.
Yes.
It seems like also the graphic of what the Arts District is, because we haven't talked about that for
Oh, okay.
months.
So the outline of like the district itself,
It's
and
like
then,
almost like a reintroduction,
Yeah.
and then, hey, we're doing the branding, here's the sign
Here's some sign
toppers, look for, be on the lookout, or something like. If I was a citizen, I would be interested in that.
very,
Yeah.
And then I think we should have some kind of a feature about the Branch Arts Live
How it
thing.
went.
A wrap-up.
that we're doing. That's why I asked about pictures, you know, a
follow-up.
little article of, you know, how.
That's a
it came
great
to
idea.
be, It's creative people that
Mhm.
did it, it's all volunteer, whatever, and then here's some pictures, and probably a list. Don and Amy probably could give you a list of all the different groups that are involved.
Mhm.
I think that's always good to see your name in
Mhm.
the.
We also. we
Yeah,
also
thanking
have-
them for participating.
Yeah.
Yep.
We also have Miss Carrollton team and Miss Metroplex team that will be coming
Oh, that's
Ooh.
great.
to represent. So, there'll be a little bit of the Miss America organization tied into it, so that'll go on their social media for the Miss America, Miss Texas organization.
And then a third one, the electric box wraps.
Mhm.
Again, whether that's November, December, just whenever they're gonna be done, you know, the locations, and I think a description of the process, how we asked citizens for input, we selected the best, here's the 3 designs, and here's where they're gonna go, or something like that.
I love that.
You know.
I also need to bring something up in regards to that. I had somebody reach out to me, and I think we just, and maybe it needs to be me, but to do a better job as far as once we have our winners selected, maybe having some sort of email that goes out to
Those who didn't get
to
it.
those that didn't, so they know
Yeah.
the process. And it would be also nice for those that win, if we had a more solid date of when,
Mm-hmm.
because I keep getting emails or questions, and so I think that just is something that just follow needs to be.
Follow, yeah,
And I think that just transition of just things that just didn't happen, so I was like, that's something I need to just think about for the future.
Solid date of installation.
Right, I think that would be nice.
Yeah, I
because they,
agree.
You know, they keep coming to
Mhm.
me and saying, well, when is it gonna, when is it?
I know, I
After a
know.
while, I mean, it kind of loses its,
yeah.
like, because it's like, oh, I won, and it's like now months have
Mhm.
passed.
Mhm.
I agree.
So I feel like we've got a lot of content.
Yeah.
Yes,
We just probably need to, next meeting, determine maybe some of these future artist spotlights.
I agree. But, and all this can be over the next several months, so,
Exactly.
yeah. And hopefully I'll have more solidified dates on, or that the electrical boxes went in
Right.
and the street toppers, we have them already in place and we
Well, and
can,
once we have a better timeline on the west side sculptures,
Ah,
that
yes.
obviously is a
A-
So
a
we
big one.
actually-
big one.
We have a lot coming out,
Yeah.
and then obviously in January, or maybe even starting December, we need to put something in about the artist exchange, so that can be another form of.
And the directory itself.
And then directly.
I agree,
So I think we have a lot of good content.
yes.
All right. Anything unique for the agenda for November? You can think of. Okay, so I think we'll get a rewritten out plan of work, like a
Yes.
finalized document, and we can vote. I don't know, do we need to vote on them, or if we just, do we need to vote on them?
Did you last year?
I think we
Yeah.
do so.
I feel like we did, yeah.
I believe Maria sent,
So, yeah,
The
everybody,
send the
everybody needs to
subcommittees.
send theirs in, so
Yes.
this way it's all
Yeah.
together.
Right.
I believe she had sent them to us a week or so prior, like individually to kind of like, yes, that is accurate for what we put together, and then collectively. they went
Okay.
down to the-
So then will you all send, like I have David's, will you all send me yours? And,
Ours already.
yep, and then, yep, we'll compile it and then we'll have it for you to look at and then, you can confirm and kind of proof it if that's what you were wanting to say and add to your subcommittee and, yeah, take a vote on it in November
Great.
for 2024. It's coming quickly, isn't it?
Okay.
I think we feel a lot better about stuff because we've more clearly defined our
Mhm.
committee, and I'm sure, David, you feel the same way, kind of. This was a good exercise.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I agree. Next month I won't be here, so hopefully it'll be Hillary or Maria. I am going to ask Maria also if she is able to come to the meeting. And I will do diligence and try to find the answers that you all asked for. And hopefully Hillary can relay that. We'll go over the minutes, hopefully. Or you'll talk with Hillary or Maria. So I'll get with her on that. And then I will see you all in January.
Well, we will miss you.
I know.
This has been-
My daughter had a baby, so
Oh,
I'm dying to go visit
yeah.
to see the new little grandbaby.
That's
so.
fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. So I'll
Good
go.
reason to be gone.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm excited.
One quick question.
Yes,
Is this the imagery that would be used in the article?
yes.
Okay.
Why? That was right off the website?
Yeah, so I think it'd be nice if we could get a better shot of the work to the right,
Okay. The one that's at the library?
right, the one that's taken at an angle and not a.
I think Jeff Brady has shots,
Okay,
because Charles's retirement thing was there.
Yes, it
That
was.
Unveiled.
Yep.
And I think the city marketing team was there, and he probably has pictures of all that.
okay, I will ask him.
That's what I remember.
Okay,
We just have an opportunity to present it in its very best light.
okay.
motion to,
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
all those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Look at us.
10 minutes late.
You're doing great though.
Thanks for meeting.